I want to welcome to the stage your U.S. Senators here in Georgia, Senators Raphael Warnock and Senator John Ossoff.
Hello, sisters and brothers. Dr. King used to say that at a time like this, silence is betrayal. And so it's so very important for all of us to stand up for one another. There was a Lutheran pastor during the time of Hitler's Third Reich named Martin Niemöller. He said that first they came for the socialists, and I did not speak up because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak. Dr. King put it this way. He said, "We are tied in a single garment of destiny, caught up in an inescapable network of mutuality. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly." And so we stand in solidarity with our Asian sisters and brothers because, first of all, we acknowledge your humanity. And that's the problem with so much that's going on in our world. There are ways in which there are people who try to invisibilize other people, to make them invisible, to create a caricature, to create a prism that makes it hard to see each other's humanity. And when you diminish a people's humanity and you center other people as if they are something greater than anybody else, then you start focusing on their humanity even when they're the perpetrator and ignoring the victims. And so I'm sick and tired of hearing about what happened with this sick and misguided person. I'm not interested in whether or not he had a bad day. Talk about a bad day.
We all have bad days.
That kind of speech comes when you don't see the humanity of a people. And so I just wanted to drop by to say to my Asian sisters and brothers, we see you. And more importantly, we are going to stand with you. We are all in this thing together. Now, we've been pushing through this terrible pandemic now for a year. And there are those who are trying to use this opportunity as a way of dehumanizing Asian folk, right? And it's quite ironic because if there's anything COVID-19 has taught us, it has taught us that we are really tied together. It is tragic. We've lost hundreds of thousands of lives. But in a real sense, the pandemic is its own parable. It is its own moral lesson. Because all of a sudden, if my neighbor is sick, she coughs. The reason we all have on these masks and doing everything we can to protect one another is that although she may be sick, I am potentially imperiled by my neighbor. Now, that doesn't make my neighbor my enemy. That just means that I have a stake in your well-being. I'm saying to you that if we ought to learn anything from COVID-19, it's that we are as close to one another as a cough.
That part.
That's how close our humanity is. So there'll be public policy discussions. There are things that we have to do as U.S. Senators, and we will address those. We are addressing them. We got to deal with gun violence. We need reasonable gun reform. We got to deal with these. We got to make sure that we have strong hate crimes on the book at the state level and at the federal level. And we got to stop pretending like hate laws and laws regarding terrorism only apply to black people and brown people and people of color and Muslims. But today, my friends, I just wanted to come, my brother and I just wanted to come and be here with you. I just wanted us to be together. I want you to know that I love you. And when I say that, I don't mean that in any sentimental way. I love you. And justice is what love looks like in public. So we've got to get some justice. God, you are known by many names, worshipped in many houses. But grant to all those who suffer your peace that surpasses human understanding. And make us instruments of your peace in the name of the God who loves us into freedom and frees us into loving. Amen.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I thank my brother, my colleague, my friend, the Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock, for his prayer and his words of wisdom. I thank you all for gathering here in solidarity as we mourn and remember those who lost their lives, as we express our love and support for their families, as we express our love and support for our Asian American and Pacific Islander sisters and brothers. This is Georgia. All of us gather here today in love. This is Georgia. Hatred and murder do not define us. We stand resiliently in defiance of hatred and murder. This is Georgia. This is love. This is compassion. This is the best of us, and this is what defines the people of our state and our nation, not those who kill or scapegoat or engage in racism or hate speech or hate crimes. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all. Now please join with us once again today and observe a moment of silence for those killed and their loved ones. And now let's look into our hearts and ask ourselves what we must do to rid our community of the scourge of violence, to rid our community of the scourge of racism and misogyny, to recommit all of us as individuals and we as a community to defining our lives based upon our shared humanity and our love for each other. This is Georgia. We gathered here today to honor and remember those who lost their lives and to demand justice. Let us build a state and a nation where you can register to vote the same day as an election, but you cannot buy a weapon the same day you intend to kill. Let us build a state and a nation where no one lives in fear because of who they are, or where their family come from, or how they live their life. We are here gathered in love. Blessings to all of you. Gratitude to all of you. We move forward together. Thank you.
In the filibuster.
Thank you, Senators Warnock and Senators Ossoff again for coming to our rally. Representative
Sam Park, who is the first openly gay and Korean American representing State House District 101.
Thank you for being here. The Asian American community is in so much pain and grief, and I know it gives them comfort to see Georgia turn out and to stand with us. Will y'all stand with the Asian American community today? Yeah! I know there's a lot of fear in the Asian American community. Fear to walk outside their door. Fear to go to their businesses. I want to tell anyone who may be scared today, do not be afraid. This is our home. This is our country. And we will not go back. I know there is a lot of anger. There is anger in the political racist rhetoric that has been used over the past year to demonize and scapegoat and put a target on Asian American children, on elders, on us. That is unacceptable. But what I want to tell y'all is to have hope. We, the people, have the power. Am I right? Who has power in this country? We do. Did I hear me? In this country, we the people have power. Who has power in this country? Say we the people. We the people. Now, it is unacceptable that someone can get a gun on the same day and go on a mass shooting spree, but have to wait 4 to 8 hours to vote. This house right next door is the people's house. This is our house. Whose house is this? Whose house is this? We, the people, have the power to be the change that we need to protect our community. If those in power do not do anything, we will vote them out. Say, vote them out. We will continue to organize today, tomorrow, until we bring justice for our community. So do not fear. Have hope and continue the march with each and every one of us. Thank you.
American Coalition, Georgia Chapter.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us and showing solidarity with our community. My name is Sarah Park. I'm the president of Korean American Coalition. KC is a national civic organization dedicated to community engagement and bringing awareness and empowering Korean American community in Southeast. KC would like to share our grief and sincere condolences to victims and families that were part of the tragic events in March 16, 2021. I'm sure we are on the stage of a grieving, but I'm glad that everyone made it here today together. We stand in solidarity with leaders and community members and ask for support in bringing awareness to end the loss of our precious life. We strongly condemn all types of violence and discrimination towards Asian American Pacific Islander and any group of individuals. We remain committed to increasing dialogue and building unity amongst all community in Georgia and America. We all know that this is not a new issue. Discrimination towards Asian American has existed since first immigrant arrived to America. We were told to take it in. We were told to take care of it amongst ourselves because there was no resources were available, and we were taught and was informed how to even report. It didn't start it because of the 2020 COVID. It started because we weren't informed and we were connected, we were shut to stay silent. At this time, I also would like to ask everyone here to give a space and respect to victims' family. It's day 4, and they have to really focus on arrangement that needs to be made so that they can truly start the grieving process. And as a API Rapid Response Community member, I was able to meet victims' families, and they're still at day 1. We are grateful to everyone that reached out to ask to help. API community in Atlanta is working to coordinate and address the horrific tragedy. Numerous organizations is working on responses and resources. Policies and law will only go so far. Our elected officials, law enforcement, community leaders and advocates, they're fighting for it, and we are grateful for that. But also we are going to continue to monitor it and going to support. Our community must come together, as division will not drive out hate. It will only make problem worse, no matter how strategic that plan may be. We must come together despite our background, our differences, and even generations. We have to include our parents and our children in our conversation. Discriminate and hate is a human problem, and it will take all of us to work towards a solution through much discussion and work. We really appreciate everyone coming out today. We encourage everyone to remain vigilant and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Next up, we have State Senator Sheikh Rahman.
Yesterday, I told him Georgia is not going to go back. Georgia is not changing. Georgia has already changed. That's why I'm a senator of Georgia. I know our community is fearful. I told him I'm not fearful. I'll be fighting for my folks. I'll be fighting for Georgia's API community, and I'll be fighting for every single Georgian. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I also told President yesterday that I told Mr. Ex-President, be an American, be a decent human being. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not going nowhere. We are not going nowhere. We are here to stay. I represent a District 5 where people from 100 different countries, people speak 100 different languages. That's what America is going to look like a couple of decades from now on.
He just wants to run around the whole time. But he's just comfortable.
Thank you.
The march will be this way. Tea, water, coffee.